Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this video, I will explain about three common tenses used in academic writing. Here are three common tenses. First, simple present. Second, simple past tense. And the last one is present perfect. Okay, now read these sentences. The first sentence, he explains the author's intention and purpose in the article. The second sentence, he is explaining the author's intention and purpose in the article. Both of the sentences above are grammatically correct. However, the tense used in first sentence or present simple is more common for academic writing than the tense in the second sentence or in the form of present progressive. This video provides the overview of three tenses that are usually found in academic writing. The first one, simple present tense. Present simple is the most common tense in academic writing, and it is usually considered as the default unless there is a certain reason to choose another tense. For example, sentence contains a past time marker. This chart shows the form of the verb to be in the positive affirmative form or positive sentence. We use the verb to be in the simple present with either a noun, adjective, or prepositional phrase. For example, I am a teacher. A teacher is a noun. You're smart. Smart is an adjective. He's from the United States. From the United States is a prepositional phrase. We can also use a short form or contraction with the simple present. I'm tired. They're from Argentina. Consider the subject to use the verb to be. For singular, I, the to be is am. You, the to be is are. He, she, it, the to be is. You, we, they, the to be are. Go on to the next form of simple present. Here you can see the table. Add the letter S to the third person singular. He, she, it. Use the past form of the verb for all the other subjects forms. I, you, we, they. Examples: I like apples. My boyfriend likes oranges. The bus comes in 15 minutes. The bus is singular subject, so you need to add s at the end of the verb come. The trains come every hour. The trains are plural subject, so you do not need to add s at the end of the verb. There are also some spelling changes in the third person. First, if the verb ends in a y, we change it to I and add es if there's a consonant before the y. Second, we add es after verbs that end with these letters s, sh, ch, x. Here are the examples and the changing of spelling in a present simple. The verbs have, go, and do are irregular in the present simple. Look at the changes. If the subject singular, he, she, it, so the form have becomes has, do becomes does, go becomes goes. Examples: we go to the store. We is plural subject. The verb go. He is singular subject. So go becomes goes. For the negative, we add do not or don't for all subject forms except the third person, which adds the s to do. Please carefully note the s is added to does not or doesn't, not the base form. Here are the table presenting negative form of simple present. Examples: I don't play tennis often. In academic writing, you should write I do not play tennis often. You are not allowed to use construction. Some specific functions are present simple include: first, to frame a paper, it is used in introductions to state what is already known about the topic, and in conclusions to say what is now known. Example: scholars share a common argument that engineering is the most male-dominated of all professions. The subject, scholars. The verb, share. Second sentence, time of college enrollment is associated with a number of variables. Second function, to point out the focus, main argument, or aim of the current paper. Example: this paper analyzes the impact of high temperatures on the certain species. Now, go to the third function. To make general statements, conclusions, and interpretations about findings of current or previous research. It focuses on what is known now. Example: graduate school is regarded as crucial for starting an engineering career because failure at this stage closes the door to professional engineering careers, and later career trajectory change is more typical the longer it is delayed. Now, another function of simple present in academic writing is to refer to findings. from previous studies without mentioning the author's name. Example, children ingest roughly 50 to 200 milligrams soil per day. The next function is to refer to tables or figures. Example, Table 1 presents the structural units. The last function of simple present in academic writing is to describe the events or plot of a literary work. This usage has the name narrative present. Example, in Mansuji Ibiu's Black Rain, the child reaches for a pomegranate in his mother's garden, and a moment later he is dead, killed by the blast of an atomic bomb. Go on to the second tenses in academic writing, that is simple past tense. Generally, past simple is used to refer to actions completed in the past. We use the verb to be in the simple past with either a noun, adjective, or a prepositional phrase. The chart shows the form of the verb to be in the positive or affirmative form. The subject I with was, you, were, he, she, it, you will use was, you as plural, we, they, we use were. Example, I was a university student. You are happy. He was in the army. To form the past simple tense with all the verbs, add ed to the infinitive form of the verb. We use the same form for each subject. Infinitive verb added with ed. The form of subject doesn't affect the verb. Examples, my son enjoyed the birthday party yesterday. The concert started 15 minutes ago. There are many irregular verbs in the past simple. Examples, we went to the movies last night. Not we could. I did my homework and after that I ate dinner. Did is from do and is from eat. Unfortunately, you have to memorize the irregular verbs. Now, go on to the negative form of past simple. For the negative, we add did not for all subject forms and the infinitive. The example, he didn't work today. You should not write he didn't work today. After did not, you do not need to put ed at the end of the past verb. Carefully note that we just add did not or didn't plus the infinitive, so there are no irregular negative past forms. There are also some spelling changes with this tense. First, if the verb ends with y, we change it to I and edit ed, but only if there's a consonant before the Y. Consonant Y. So we change Y into I, then add ed. Try, tried. Second, if the verb ends with E, we add just a D, not ed. Example, close. The word ends with E, so you just add D, close. Measure. The word ends with E, so you just add D, measured. The last one, double the final consonant after a short stressed vowel if the verb ends in a CVC, consonant, vowel, consonant. Example, the word plan, consonant, vowel, consonant. So, double final consonant. There is an exception, CVC endings with W, X, or Y. Examples, the basketball player bounced the ball, bounced, bounced. Just add did not eating. Some specific functions this tense has in academic writing include: the first one, to report specific findings of a previous study, usually with the author's names in the sentence to support a general statement. Example, probably the most commonly discussed phenomenon in music cognitions is the Mozart effect. This is the general claim. Specific example, Rosser and colleagues first documented this effect in their seminal paper. Second function is to describe the methods or data from a completed experiment. Example, statistical analysis were used to determine relationships between variables. The third function is to report results of the current empirical study. Example, the first language, English writers utilize mostly NP and PP-based bundles 78.3% of times and 77.1% of tokens. And then the next function is after any pastime marker. After the war, pastime marker. After the war, Germany had to face strong reparations from the Allied nations. Now go to the last common tenses in academic writing, that is present perfect tense. It is usually used when referring to previous research, and since it is a present tense, it indicates that the findings are relevant today. This tense is formed using the auxiliary verb have or has plus the past participle of the main verb. To form the present perfect, we use have or has plus participle, past participle. You cannot You can also use constructions that, in this case, in academic writing, you are not allowed to use constructions to form the past participle at ed. However, there's also irregular verb that you can't add ed. To form the negative simple, simply add not after have or has. When you have to use have or has, if the subject I or you in singular, you use have. If the subject is he, she, it, or singular noun, you use has. If the subject you, we, they, you use have. Is to describe previous findings without referring directly to the original paper. Example: it has been shown that biodiversity is not evenly distributed throughout the world. So let's practice. Get a research article and identify the three common tenses.